Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Next up in our Marvel's controller Build-A-Figure set, we have Speedball, which kind of an interesting character. Got a very dark story in the comics. I suggest you take a few minutes and read up on him because he has a pretty tragic story. But he can produce kinetic energy and bounce around, and he can do all kinds of wild stuff. He's pretty powerful. Let's see. He comes with the torso for controller, by the way. Not really any accessories for him in the package. He's got a pretty bizarre looking costume. On the back it says, when Robbie Baldwin is exposed to an extra-dimensional energy source, he becomes Speedball, able to project a kinetic energy field, allowing him to bounce like a super-powered rubber ball. I think that's an oversimplification of this character. But, yeah. Take a look at the Marvel Civil War and stuff like that. And he was a part of the New Warriors, where he actually saw all of his teammates die, which is part of his tragic story. But we're going to get the figure out of the package and take a look at it. And I'll be right back. All right, so we've got our figure out of the package. And like I said previously, there are no accessories with this guy. It's just the figure. He's got an interesting look. And the design, all these little balls on his belt and his wrist, and the mask and boots. My guess is Hasbro saw how much paint apps they were going to have to put on this guy, and they were trying to cut costs by not giving him any accessories. He does have a cool body, though. He's using the body with, I guess, with these the butterfly joints. I'm not 100% sure what all these parts are called. This reminds me of some of the Spider-Man figures. So he's got a really good range of motion. Spin the wrists. It's not quite double jointed elbows though. You do have double jointed knees. You got the thigh cut. You can turn him at the waist. He's got really good ab crunch. The head, you've got pretty good range of motion on it actually. So you can get this guy in a lot of different poses. I think he should have at least came with some additional hands, even though most of the time I don't care for the additional hands. Yeah, pivot on the foot. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of articulation in this figure, and I guess that's where this figure is going to stand out. The cool design, all the different coloring in the, the little paint apps. He had some pretty cool goggles, the wild hair. So it's a pretty neat looking figure, and it does kind of stand out as being a little different. But he really could have used some accessories, so that's pretty cheap that Hasbro didn't give him anything extra. I mean, you got the torso, which I guess the torso for the controller was the biggest part of the controller, so I guess that's why they skimped out on this one. I do like it, though. You know, at first I thought, well, that's kind of weird looking, but it has grown on me. And again, this was a $10 figure, so there's not really a whole lot of complaining I feel I can do on these. What do you guys think? Have you picked this one up? Are you a fan of this character? Do you know his backstory and what happened with all the deaths that he's blamed for? He's got a wild story. So I should really suggest checking that out. Just go on Wikipedia if you haven't read the comics or you don't have access to them, and or check out, there's some YouTube channels that have some really cool historical stuff on comics, and they'll do like complete backstories on characters. I'll watch a lot of those sometimes. I don't consider myself an expert on comics at all. I used to read them a lot when I was young. Don't get the time to do it as much anymore. So yeah, I have to live vicariously through other people telling me about a lot of these characters. And Speedball is one that I had to learn about because I really wasn't familiar with him. I don't know that this is ever a character we're going to see in the MCU. I just don't know how well this would translate. And I don't think we'll ever see him end up in the in a movie where we get his complete story. So, yeah. But it is a cool figure. Yeah, it's grown on me quite a bit. I really like the wild design. And the articulation actually works for him. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like this guy? Give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks.